Okay, hello everybody. I think there are 18, so I think we have maybe 2 or 3 missing. But thank you very much again for attending on time. I'm very happy to be with you again in this interesting journey. I think this is your third or fourth week since you started. And we are excited to see and hear from you about the progress and about the projects. As long as you are learning, and you are learning by doing, not learning by only listening and or attending, that will be very important for us. Remly, make sure that these people who enter, you mute them, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is very important that, as I said, inspiration economy is all about learning by doing, not learning by listening. And I think always I say, if we want to reach to the level of these people that all of you know, whether it is Einstein or it is Gandhi, or from the Arab world or Islamic world is Ibn Khaldun or Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. These are these people who made legacy around the world, not only for in their own country, or and of course Mandela and you know, Steve Jobs. That maybe most of this generation know more, mainly about Steve Jobs and so on. These people differentiated themselves from all the others, a lot of other people, because they have the capacity to do two things. First of all, to observe and to take a pause about the world and what they want to do, and they put a life purposefulness, and they did. Not only they talked. And always we say in inspiration economy, if you don't know, you are not going to change anything. And if you know, also you are not going to change anything. You only do it, you only change by doing. So the doing is the most important thing for us in inspiration economy. Do you see that, by the way? So I want to make sure you see that, right? Do you see the screen, Ramli?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that is important for us also that we focus on is that in this economy, this concept that we brought, it is based on 4 things. Okay. First is that the physical. Okay, because always we say physical is relevant to mental. If we want to challenge our mindset, and always I say it's very important, you know, these, you know, anatomy of the brain, anatomy of the heart, because this is where we work. We work on empathetic thinking, where we solve problems by different techniques. And this means that we work on the physical, we work on the emotional, we work on the spiritual, and we work on the mental. This means that we need always to observe with good intentions, with focus, intention, with a purpose. With a purpose, when we observe something, I mean, like a status in our community, a poverty issue, a migration issue, a family instability issue, any socio-economic issue that we want to tackle. We first we put the good intention and we want to solve it, not to just observe it, not to do it only for the sake of internship or for the sake of getting grades or something like this. No, the good intention is that means we want to solve it, and this is very important. It means we have a purpose of what we are observing. Once we observe with intention, with a purpose, for sure we can see the big picture about the problem. We can see the commitment that we need, the tolerance that we need, the coherence that we need to build in our, you know, in our you know, resilience, the resilience capacity that we need to deal with this problem in different ways. And for that, we always say we differentiate the inspiration people from those innovators. Okay, the innovators, they focus on innovation details, and they will repeat, you know, the thing till they innovate, and they will try to find opportunity to build around it. While inspire people, no, they create the big picture. The most important, they have a purpose. Okay, and this purpose will make them, when they repeat to discover, not to repeat, to innovate. So innovation for us is only a milestone. It is not a goal itself. Okay, and for that, sometime I want to I got today from one of the people, I think from Selma or someone, suggesting that, for example, in her community, she wants to do tailoring. I said, no, I want something innovative. I mean, I want something to be creative, which means you need to see the big picture first. How you innovate an inspiration economy, not like the normal innovation that we see for a car or for any product or something. We're dealing with people. So we need to see the people, what type of people we have, what type of attitudes they have, behavior they have, their type of reaction, their type of status, the type of problems. We connect these together to bring something out of that, so that it will help them to really manage to solve their problems, and they will appreciate that this small project that you're gonna do with them, it helped them to get out of the and solve the problem in a proper way. So I think this is what will make us persist. Yani always we say inspire people that you've seen, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mandela, Gandhi, these people who leave a legacy around the world, and all the type of ethnicity will be, remembering them. Doesn't matter what is their religion, what is their language, what's their country. All of everybody remember these people. Why? Because they have the passion. Passion is like, something that is positive, spreading throughout the world when you have a good passion. And this passion will not develop unless you have two things. I want you always to remember these two things. First is persistence. Second thing is perseverance. Okay, this is very important. Persistent means that you always will insist to do something. Perseverance means that you will ensure that it is done repeatedly till it is done in a proper way. And this does not come by coincidence. It needs, again, that we really think about what is the purpose, what we are doing. If we want to reach the moon, for example, what are our thoughts, what are our feelings, what are our behaviors? Okay, what is the destination we are taking? And then we start to think about it from the observation, which is the conscious, and the subconscious. We start to reflect on it. The more we do this, the more we can create a change in our even physical body, starting from our mind. Our mind will be our brain will start getting different messages than others. We start to associate and get excited about the challenges. And many people, they don't like challenges in life. The inspired people, they like challenges, especially those challenges that are relevant to their journey. The more there is challenges, the more they will open new pathways that they never thought about. And this is what we call cognitive empathy. It will help us to solve problems in different ways, and it will lead us to places that we never thought about. And by the way, you youth, especially you, and this is why I'll conclude with this. I said only I'll take 5 to 10 minutes always. You youth, the more you think this way, the more you think about solving problems relevant to your community, the more you're going to avoid negative thoughts. Okay, all of us have negative thoughts here and there. But now the problem of youth, it is like another pandemic coming, which is mental health and the problem of stress or anxiety and so on. So people start to feel, oh, they want to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist or what you call it, coach or whatever. Why? Because you're not involved with your community. The more you involve, engage with your community, you'll avoid the negative thoughts. You'll avoid the issues like depression and other diseases, and you'll get involved with positive thoughts. How you can solve a problem. You start to believe in yourself. You start to build confidence in yourself, and you start to realize that you are adding value to the world. You have a purpose in life. Even if you solve a problem to your neighbor, okay, not even a whole community itself, it will make for you a different purpose in life in general. So maybe this is my thoughts for today, and I hope, inshallah, I hear from you if you have any question relevant to that later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We have Dr. Dunya with us. Ma'am, can you please tell a few words?
So first, good afternoon, everyone. And as Dr. Muhammad said, thanks for being committed. And I'm hoping that the more we go through this, all of us going to learn more. I'm going to emphasize in two ideas that Dr. Muhammad already spoke about. When he saw you the pictures of these people, Steve Jobs, and I mean, maybe this is the most person you know, or the others. The main thing that identify these people, that they are all are people that it's difficult to identify them with one job. They are always multi-skills, multi-knowledge, they have multi-jobs, innovator, they are entrepreneurs. For example, he worked for social for-profit, or you can name it. So always make sure that you will be such a person. Here you are going to be more able to work in inspiration economy concept. People who work, who, as Dr. Muhammad always say, they don't use their frontal loop. They always look at their things from one side, and they only want one title in their life. I'm a physician, I want to work through this. I don't think of others and other jobs, or I'm an engineer, so I'll not think on the other things. Here where you are going to lose lots of skills. And here will bring us back to how to evaluate our project, that it's always on first thing, it's about people, whereas Dr. Muhammad was saying. So here you need to, when you want to introduce any project, any thing you are doing, always make the core is people. It's not like here where we differentiate ourselves with other entrepreneurs or other business people who thinking that the money is first, or how it's going to benefit themselves is the first. So you need to think what I'm going to do that's going to benefit other people and the community around me. And it's going to be then win-win situation, and you will benefit at the end of the day. So I think these are the two ideas that's just I want to emphasize in, and to make sure that you will carry it with you while you are thinking of any project with IE. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have Godfrey. Is he here? All right. Paul, will you say a few words?
I think we should proceed actually, Rimli, for the interns.
All right. First, team 3 will be presenting. So team 3, Adama and Sumaya, are you both ready? I'll be doing the screen share.
Yes, I think I'm ready.
So yeah, Adama, please begin.
Yes, everybody can hear me?
Yes, please continue.
Okay.
15 minutes. Yeah. 7 minutes for you, 7 minutes for Sumaya. Please continue.
Okay. Hello, everybody. In team 3, we have mitigation of migration and self-successful projects. Self-successful. Why do we think self-successful projects are important? One, self-successful not only save your money. Two, it protects you from ups and downs of life, and also help to protect the environment. Self-sufficiency is when you have enough for a life of well-being. A big part of self-sufficiency is so much of enough. Migration. In Africa, there are 30.7 million migrant workers, represent 8.1% of the total. The majority of migrant workers, 99 million, are men, while 70 million are women. Yes, migration Africa. Africa is experiencing an important development of migratory flows. That movements occur essentially within the continent. They are also current towards Europe, North America, and some Middle East countries, and could be voluntary because of pearl factory in distinct countries, or involuntary forced due to patch factor in countries of origin. That movement could be legal or under documents and encompass all social categories, including refugees, internally displaced person, normal migrating in search of pasture young and women setting off from the countryside in search of job opportunities in the city, employment seekers, and increasingly qualified person, women, and children under the age of 18. Okay. Case study of Rwanda. Immigration Rwanda. Rwanda is a landlocked country that was able to safeguard its political stability after the 1994 genocide. The 2021 human flight and brain drain in Africa indicates that Rwanda is slightly above the world average of 5.25 index, currently at 6.5%. In brief, the major cause of youth migration that needs our policy initiator to arrest are the following. 1. Limited access to information and opportunities. 2. Low level of employable skills. Inadequate access to resources like land and capital. Negative attitude towards blue-collar jobs. 5. Insufficient support services such as internship, apprenticeship, and industrial attachment, coaching, role modeling, and mentorship. 6. Raised number of youth joining the labor market and yet corresponding level of job creation. G2. 78% of Rwanda population is made by youth, and it's inevitable that youth is power of nation. Therefore, self-sufficiency project will be a sentiment solution against the rise of youth migration. Okay, example of self-sufficiency projects that can mitigate youth migration. The self-sufficiency project name Farming Cooperative is named Farming Cooperative. 1. Activity of the project. For activity of the project, we have land of farm population, tillage, sowing of the plant, select needs, beans and maize, removing the weeds and spraying, harvesting and post-harvesting activities, supplying yield to market and prepare for second farming season. In this cooperative, employees will pool share resource in certain areas of activity. It will allow this light farm to do that big farm can do, like buy, impulse, and bulk raise volume to open new market and low the use cost of equipment. Okay, project market. Society people who live where the project is operating. 2. Hotels, restaurants, and alimentation that are always in needs Airbnbs or mains grain.
We are
3.
moving a little quick, Adama. So next
Yes.
slide. Yeah, next slide.
Okay, next slide.
So these are the financial requirements. Total,
I think
between
next
300.
slide, financial rating, I think
Yes.
is clear,
Yes.
Yes, it's clear. Well, we have here number and active and action and number price and total price. We have land offers 1 hectare, 150. And I think to go for slide. Okay, objective. General objective of the project, we have 1, supplying maize and beans yield to the society to minimize poverty problem. I think we can do all the presentation for malnutrition because we have in Mauritania many malnutrition children. 2, felicitation farmer in improving their production throughout our selection seed. 3, community development with creative of this project throughout inspiration ideas. 4, we have reduction of unemployment and jobs creation specifically amongst members because this project will help them in its operation. We have specific objective. We have project objective. We have specific objective of the specific objective of the project is reason socio-economic is more essential. Socio-economic development and reduction of poverty among team member striving for achievement of taking incentive against poverty, malnutrition, and unemployment within our member. We have acquisition of farming scale. Have the benefit of the project. 1, first of all, with the owner of the project will benefit from is basing on the profits that we will earn from that project. 2, our client will buy the products of our project. 3, the people and neighbor of project location who will be even donate some felicitation for business
Madam,
promotion.
We are moving forward.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So these are the ways in which the project will be running and earning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah,
that would be it. Thank you so much, Madam.
Just take us to the last slide, Ramli. This is your team, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me see just the last slide. Okay, this one.
Yes.
So what is the earning? And can you just tell us in one word? What is the return?
Yes, sir. So actually, we are thinking of a farming project. So in this farming project, we are going to make it in a cooperative way.
Yes.
So the entire theme of the project is that we will be taking land we'll be taking land in rent, and then we'll be growing either maize or beans or such kind of things. And every youth or every person that is associated with this project, they will be contributing some of their amounts, the profit or some of the amount that they earn into the cooperative. And later, if they require to buy or rent any big machineries for either for harvesting or for processing, so they can take a loan from the cooperative, and then they can even compete with a little bigger farmers. So even small farmers coming together, they are going to earn the profits, and in that way they are going to develop, and they are going to grow bigger and bigger with more and more people coming together.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me just comment very quickly. Today will not take a long time, Ashan. We give you time to cover, and we don't stay much longer than 2 hours. So yes, in general, it's very good anyway. You are in the self-sufficiency area because food, water, these things, again, recycling, all is about self-sufficiency. The more self-sufficiency, so that all of us we agree. Then it will take any community to be more independent, okay, from totally depending on the supply chain. Like now there is a lot of disruption on the supply chain. For that, we are having this, you know, exaggeration of the prices and instability in the market. The economy is going, you know, crazy and so on. And now, doing it in, يعني, since you are trying to do with the $300, and then we'll repeat, of course, $300, 300. I will give you, and we'll continue with this project even if it can really give a return to eliminating poverty or minimizing migration, as you mentioned in the beginning, and so on. But I have two questions. First of all, it's already Rwanda full of farming business and very competitive, frankly. And if you told me this in Mauritania, I will tell you, okay. Okay. Number two is that $300, you will not see its return easily if you are farming. If yani, for that, always you think, guys, this is what I said in the beginning. This is the difference between inspiration and innovation. Inspiration, you might start with, okay, you have the purpose of maybe owning your own farms and having self-sufficiency program with your own farms, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, you might start buying and selling products. Okay, maybe some products which is already, I think Isa team, Koisi, already they are Kozera. He's already in this business with okay. Just let me mute this. Okay. So I was saying that very important is that we think in a way what we can do with this 300 and we have a return within first 3 months or 6 months. Okay, an area where they need more our type of fruit or our type of vegetables or farm, whatever farming you are doing. In Rwanda, as Imadi said, is that they are having malnutrition. And by the way, the issue of migration in Rwanda is nothing. I'm not sure why you said Rwanda. Rwanda, actually opposite. They are having migration from people coming to the Rwanda, not Rwandans going. Okay, the statistics here may be exaggerating, or it is not saying Rwanda compared to the other African countries. We were just in Rwanda, and we've seen that people are coming to Rwanda from Arab countries, from European, everybody's coming. It's like being Singapore of the world, you know, of the African world. So it's not an issue like other countries like Nigeria, like, you know, like Mauritania, like Morocco, these countries where people are trying and dying, you know, to just cross the ocean towards Europe and so on. So I think here I advise you, and you are okay in the right area of business, but maybe this business, why we go for, you know, first product always. Even I told Paul and this is why I think Paul and now they are successful, because always I tell them, always remember, go to the higher end of the product, not in the beginning of the product. Yeah, I don't go for farming. Farming in the beginning, you need a lot of money. 300 will not help you. This it will help those farmers. Maybe it help the people really farming, and it might help them have some expertise. They have the land and so on. But now renting the land itself is well not enough for you, $300. But if you start saying what I'll do, for example, Ramli and team 3, and I will take the vegetables, a mix of vegetables, and I'll start to sell for certain in tourist area, mix of vegetables, like a basket. In Rwanda, or example, or Mauritania, you'll see bulk of selling. They are selling bulk of everything from one thing, from vegetable, from. But if you make a basket and good packaging, and you say this basket is cost you that much, very competitive price, and you have profit margin of this basket with the branding of the basket, that might create for you, you know, a niche in the business. Or you deliver the basket to the middle class of that country, whether Mauritania, whether Rwanda, Nigeria, whatever. The delivery itself of the basket once a week. For example, tell them once a week, you are now members of my community, of my program. Once a week, you'll guarantee you'll get this. You'll get one apple, two apple, potato, whatever. Okay. I think this is what will make the competitive, and it will increase the self-sufficiency, because what you'll do, so not directly you go for this, you go in the mediator, and always see the technique here is so that you can manage with the 300 and then go in the mediating side. Don't start with the product from zero. Okay, that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll keep this in mind, and then we'll revise it also.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, Sumaya, you are there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Let's begin.
Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Okay,
make it
good
fast.
evening,
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm on a transit, so you might be hearing some noise.
Yeah.
This team 3 and the team leader is Rim Leaders. We're talking about education. We've went through, I might not really be going through with the slides, but I'll try to grasp because of the minutes I have. We've read through the Intent book written by Dr. Buheji for Inspired Economy. And we tend to pick something that was very unique, that's taking education to the doorsteps of communities, rural areas, or people living in slums. And let me give you a backdrop of this environment. When we're talking about education, I think we should focus more on literacy. How can we define literacy? Are we defining literacy in the prism or the definition or the lens of colonialism? Or are we going to define literacy that we were educated and can read and write in Arabic or other languages? When UNESCO bring out their statistics saying 100 million people are out of school, 180 million or 37 million in northern Nigeria are not schools, are dropouts, they are categorically telling people that 137 million people are Quranic students who can read and write in Arabic. So, giving you this backdrop, but the poverty line of people in northern Nigeria is 80%. Why the disparity? The disparity is because most of them didn't go to 4 classrooms, never sit in front of a teacher with a desk with pen and paper to write exams, or to go through this system of education which is structured based on colonialism. So if you don't speak French language or you don't speak English language, it's determined that you are illiterate and you are uneducated. With this backdrop, then I connect the nexus to dot the I's and cross the T's by saying that inspire action to elevate poverty is done through the instrumentality of education. It can be formal education or informal education. We have 2 case studies here, one in Mauritania and another in Nigeria here. So we picked this because of the uniqueness of the system of education, because most of the schools started under a tree or under a shade, now been transformed into 4 walls, and it's a hybrid system of operation. It's not really one way, being it's maybe formal or informal, but it encourages the learning process and in
Sumaya, are you there?
I think
Sumaya,
she,
you're not audible.
I think she's traveling or any in the transport. So maybe you can continue, Ramli, if you are. This is your team.
according to lay English here.
Yeah. Sumaya, yeah, you there?
According to our lay, yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes. Yeah, with this slide, education and poverty elevation, please start with this.
Yes, there's a nexus between poverty and lack of education. That's what I'm saying. In our layman English here, we do call it numeracy and literacy. And the means will be noticed as immense to 10 to 20% drop in the world extremely poor individuals. Absolute poverty could be reduced by 30% if these women, children, or the communities will have education. Next slide, please, Remy. Next slide. So we talked about Kudedu. Are you with me?
Yes,
Hello?
please continue. Yes,
Okay.
please continue.
Can you move to the next slide?
Yeah.
Next slide.
Importance of adult literacy in Mauritania.
Importance of adult literacy in Mauritania. If these adults are educated, they can do effectively more into their businesses. They can read, they can write, they can do calculations, which will improve their living standard, give them some confidence and self-esteem, which will manifest into their businesses and which would really help in alleviating them out of poverty. Next slide, please. Next slide, Remy. Next slide, Remy.
Yes, method that is and
Next
can
slide,
be used.
please.
Yes, I have given.
Okay, methods that it can be used. Workshops for the cooperative members on topics like calculation, which is calculations, which is mathematics, and through making partnerships and signing memoranda of understanding, that's MOU, with public schools. That will really help. Next slide.
Doorstep schools approach.
Doorstep schools approach. This is like, I always give you an example whereby we're living in segregated communities. This segregated community's livelihood is along or the legacy that has been left due to conflicts within communities. So most of communities are living in segregated communities, and that is used as a yardstick of others benefiting from social amenities while others are not benefiting. Most of the communities we used are nomads, which are herders because they live from one community to another, and they can't access facilities for education. They are living in rural communities that is inaccessible even by governments, and even if it is accessible but is poorly maintained and is in dilapidating situation without teachers. So this door to school is taking the school or system of education to the doorstep of these people and giving them education at affordable and at their doorstep. Next slide, please.
Yes. Importance of child literacy in Nigeria.
Importance of child education, of child literacy in Nigeria. The focus point is local government of Plateau State. The target is to deliver education to rural and isolated communities, which is also segregated communities. Formal and informal education in children in the slums area, because they are of the disadvantage and they are vulnerable. Really giving them this education at their doorstep is like enhancing their capacity, improving their standard of living, improving the literacy level in the community, which will manifest in the children's life standard of living, social cohesion, harmonious coexistence, and also big dreams and desire to prosper. To reach the poor and remote community, that's just what I said. The target group will be displaced communities or IDPs. All these are target groups. Methodology. How will these things be used? You go to the community will provide the teachers that they think are well suited for and have best techniques to teach back these children. You bring them out to the towns, you train these children to learn, unlearn, and relearn, then take them back to the community so that they will now be responsible in teaching these children and women in their community, which will promote what we call community-driven school, to suit the context of the community, and also to make them accept this system of education as a very local and down to their context. Its sustainability is variable because these are people that work for themselves and for the community, so it requires a minimum amount of money in order to enhance this project. Country type of poverty, like in Mauritania, we're talking about slum-like areas in poorest of regions. Priority focus, knowledge assets, helping them join cooperatives. Educational approach is doorstep schools, semi-government supported schools, NGO schools, and volunteers. In Nigeria, we're talking about nomadic communities. The priority focus is knowledge assets. Educational approach is doorstep schools. Next slide. Levels of mindset possibilities needed in the poverty elimination educational approach is, if people in high poverty areas are educated as lifelong learners, they will be able to climb out of poverty. Being lifelong learners will help the underprivileged students in societies to select either their traits, and will give them the ability to improve themselves and their surrounding society. Lifelong learning will make the youth become more curious about the resources around them, looking inward for solution-driven than looking outward, and also will help in mitigating the issue of migration that a lot of people, my other presenter, is talking about. Thank you. Do I have some minutes, Rimli? Do I have any minutes?
We are a little out of time now.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, again, thanks a lot, Sumaya. I know this is your passion, and for that, I was excited to hear what you are talking about. And as usual, I think that your English language is helping you beside your experience in presentation and in the subject. So really, it's excellent and inspiring presentation. Now, what I liked, frankly, is first is that, and this is something that for us, and what I want you all guys to emphasize, and maybe Ramli, good friend and Paul, always emphasize in redefining what we are talking about. And this is what she did. She did something that we did not tackle with you, but how I solve a problem. First, I redefine the problem. She used the taxonomy. What literacy we are talking about? What type of literacy we are targeting? Because this is a huge subject, and everybody will talk about it from literacy and fighting illiteracy is something government sometimes to fail to tackle. So let alone if we are gonna do about projects. So this is what I liked. She used also the radical change in teaching, and this is very important, which is we mentioned our intent and other books. I have a book in Arabic about lifelong learning. She mentioned about also these techniques that we mentioned in that book, which is about the flipped class, the changing that the students will be the teacher. Okay, I'm not sure if you see this in your countries, but anyway, we do this. Me and Dr. Dunya, or our programs is based on that actually. Flip class, that the teacher or the mentor or facilitator or a professor, he talk less, and the more the students, they will prepare the subject, they will talk about it, and the mentor will help them only to see opportunities or perspective that they didn't see. Now, I'm not sure with children, like the age, I think Sumaya is working with ages from maybe kindergarten until maybe 12 or 13, how it will work. But I know that for sure, and it is the best technique that we experience it from high school and from university. This is the level that I work with a lot. Learning by doing is very important, which is maybe she mentioned it, but maybe too quickly. And peer-to-peer, very important peer-to-peer learning, especially if we are going to, we are talking about now inspiration-based approach for the meaning of, fighting illiteracy and, spreading the minimal requirement for education. And of course, what you mentioned about, I like this word, community-driven schools, which is, of course, it will help a lot in emphasizing the role of the community. But I would say always, any education that is only education for the purpose of education, not relevant to a community development program or community development problem solving, relevant to something, a project that we are doing, it is not inspiration economy. Inspiration economy, always we are looking, what is inspiration economy? We are looking to find what is the inspiring currency within the community. Once they see that, they will come to education, and instead of you pushing them for education, okay, especially that you will not give them a lot of money, you will not give them prizes, they will not benefit from it. So even the parents, sometimes they will resist. When they will benefit, they feel it is important for them, when it is really based on a design relevant to the projects. So I call it, by the way, selective curriculum, pragmatic education. I will not give any, I will not teach them all the whatever they require from the language that they need in their community, whether Arabic, like we're doing. I think our friend from Mauritania, he knows what we are doing in his village. Okay, very selective. It is selective in one specific subject, especially even the numerical, like she mentioned, Sumaya. We are not teaching everything, but the minimal mathematics they need, the calculus they need, so that they manage their day-to-day business. Once they become a role model for their children, they will see that there is changes. They will be taking care of education more and more. I'm not sure if this eliminates poverty 30%. This is all claimed statistics, with all the respect. So may you bring it yourself or you bring it from high. This all claimed statistic, but there's indirect benefit, and they will make the mindset of the poor or those who are not caring about education well. They'll be more accepting new ideas, more accepting that they need to learn about the world, more accepting that even we give them a fund, they care that this fund is not for them to spend now, for them to do in a project, so that they see the future. because education is about changing the mindset. Yani people, how when they learn, when their mindsets start to change, and this is what we need to do when we are doing education, not teaching only normal education like the government is doing. By this way only that we will define it as inspiration economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Dunya, would you like to say a few words?
No, I think Dr. Muhammad covered all the things. And always when we do any project, just something, I'm repeating it, compare the difference between what I'm doing as an IE, what are the other going to do in this project if they are going to run this project. So here where you are going to answer lots of questions that Dr. Muhammad is saying.
All right, thank you so much.
Regardless if it's educational, agricultural, it's business oriented, whatever it is, always do this comparison, then put what will differentiate you as an IE, it will be easier for you to do it.
All right, ma'am, thank you so much. So we'll move on to the next team. Team number 1, are you ready?
Yeah, could you make me the co-host so that I can share the screen?
Sir, can you please make him the co-host?
Okay.
Pratik, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Pratik.
Yes, sir, I can share it.
Okay.
Okay, am I audible?
Nihashri and Hirakjyoti will be presenting. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll start. Okay, good evening, everyone. Since we have a time limit, so I'll just give a brief summary of our research work and of our project. Next slide.
What's your name? Nihashir?
Nihashri, sir.
Nihashri, okay.
Nihashri, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, migration has, as we all know, migration has been a perpetual crisis all over the world, and with the downward economic spiral of most countries, it's been a huge challenge to uplift the rural areas in accordance to their potential. Assam, which is a land of abundant natural resources and environmentalist rich dynamics, has always been a victim of migration-related issues. The rural people of Assam, just like its counterparts, is highly unaware of the natural resources and the place has and how these resources can help them to sustain themselves as well as the environment that they can live in. As a result, they migrate the townships and cities in search of better livelihood opportunities. Thus, living in villages is dire under development conditions. The government and the educated folks must be responsible enough to help the rural population know about their resources, but is pretty much an elusive achievement on both sides. Since Assam is a land of rivers and water bodies, play a huge part in its environment systems, fisheries are an immediate solution to the migration problem of the place. Since the root cause of migration is economic freedom,
Right.
So we need to focus on how to make fisheries useful enough to make the rural areas economically reliable and equipped labor. Pratik, can you please change the slide? Yes, thank you. As you all can see, the pre-COVID and post-COVID conditions of the migrants. So we have decided that we can do a project for the empowerment of the youth, the migrated youth, and Assam is a place with a lot of water bodies. We can help them with giving them resources for fisheries. We can highlight certain strategies that the fisheries can implement to fulfill all the above mentioned necessities. Keep point number 1. Okay. Keep the fishery clean for the fishes to grow abundantly, as a result of which maximum export of fishes can happen. Purchase poultry such as ducks, so that in time when the ducks lay eggs, those can be sold in the market, which would bring additional income to sustain the fishery. Medicinal plants such as lemon, neem, and banana can be planted around the fishery to initiate farming in the area, both for economic growth as well environmental elevation. And we will need expense of $500 for this project. As you can see, fish investment will be like $300 and returns will be up to $600 to $650. Ducks $60 and returns will be $180. Lemon, banana, etc. The medicinal plants investment will be $60 and returns up to $120. And there are the others. The total will be 500 and the returns will be up to $900 to $950. And as you can see, the returns are not one time. It is very sustainable model and builds the capacity to make profit for decades if taken proper care of. The budget gives a rough estimate of the profit it can help gain the population, which is turn will community grow. Thank you so much. Assignment 2, I will hand it over to Hirok now. Thank you so much.
Okay, Niharshi, before you go to the assignment 2, it's very interesting, the return, how you calculate the return. So this need to be, we need to see that from your presentation later. But one of the things that is even, he knows that we wanted to do that in Assam and Sivasagar specifically. But for us, it was not clear. Okay, you do farming of fish, which is, I think, the best place is Assam for sure. And there is demand, not in Assam. The real demand will be down in these areas, like Bombay and Delhi and so on. This was the challenge. If you start to sell only in the nearby market, then I'm not sure how we calculate the return, $600 and so on. But it is a good project in general. Specifically, if you target again youth not employed, or people who are not making enough profit margin. And Paulie knows about that, and this is one of the early projects we thought about. So thank you very much again for mentioning this again, and we will, inshallah, I hope that we will work on that somehow. Thank you. But think about again logistics. Logistics is very 50% of this project. Farming is now becoming non-technology or non-technique, especially in your area. Lots of people are doing farming. Not a problem. The challenge will be the logistics. Yeah. Okay, Remli.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. So now the second assignment, please continue. Team 1.
Hirak will take over now.
Is he there? Is Hirak there?
Pratik, you present if he's not there. Someone from your team.
I think Hirak dropped out.
Pratik, yeah, please continue with the presentation. Pratik. Anyone from team 1, please continue. Yeah, thank you.
All right, since we have a very deficit of time, I'll continue the second presentation. And with the quote by Mahatma Gandhi, which says, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever." And this is obviously surrounding the topic of education and poverty with a specific context to India. We know that when children in the world are, and specifically in the most populated emerging economy countries such as India, get educated, it can contribute significantly to both the national and international progress. In fact, India has been cited as the largest democracy and also one of the highest growing GDPs to be known in the current scenario. So the impact an education can have on this entire demography will be massive. Education is the best answer to poverty and its related issues like child labor or early marriage, etc. In fact, it's a known case that in many states of India, child labor, child marriage are still being used. Many children don't even get to explore their possibilities through education. And hence, if it is being strengthened, it will answer to a lot of socioeconomic issues that already prevail in this region. Studies show that more than 171 million people could be lifted out of extreme poverty if their children get the basic education that would ensure effective communication of reading and writing along with some science and math. Now, we all know that math, science, English, and languages are not negotiable. We need to know English in order to hold a job that is accountable or respected in the society. And hence, education will play a huge role in manufacturing or creating children who can do it. This means that we can notice an immediate of 10 to 20% drop in the world's extremely poor individuals. And hence, education can be used to empower people who are still in the darkness. We know that education attainment explains the main difference in growth rates between countries as India and the sub-Saharan African countries, which were continuing to widen from 1965 to till 2010. We know that India as well as sub-Saharan African countries have been cited as poor countries. Now, most of them has risen to the state of lower middle income countries, but many countries still struggle to reach there. A recent global partnership for education, a study conducted in the year 2019 announced the results of the global survey that showed that investing in education increases the earning of the poor by roughly 10% per additional year of schooling. Now, here's a chart that shows it. If we invest $1 for an additional year of schooling, in low-income countries, there is a $5 increase in income. And in lower middle income countries, there is a $2.5 increase, according to the study. Now let's connect it to GDP. We know that GDP is highly connected to the economics as well as the development and the trajectory. From studying the Indian success story, we have seen that the economy of India has bloomed in the recent past, and there have been stories being told as the GDP rose and then it fell again, and then it's still rising. From the study of the Indian success story, we can visualize that in 2050, the GDP per capita in low-income countries would be almost 70% lower than today. If we could guarantee that all children would get the basic education and essential lifelong learning skills. In countries which have a high GDP, we see that developed countries tend to spend more on education and health specifically. Now in India, we barely spend 1.8% of the GDP, which is very small, and hence it has encountered many issues and is resulting in the massive illiteracy and education prevalence here. Now, when we talk about India, there are two aspects which we cannot neglect. That is rural and urban India. While quite a huge portion of India is urbanized and there are also metro cities now, but there is a huge population of rural people in India. And here's the challenge of rural versus urban education in India. Ending poverty requires that the rural and slums areas poverty cycle be controlled and then eliminated. We know that poverty has turned into a cycle, and then the gap between the rich and the poor has been increasing, which leaves even lesser opportunity for the poor and marginalized children to get out there. In order to end it, we need education. One of the most proven basic controls of poverty is equipping the poor with education. The rural education services would be more important if we count that at least 216 million Indian are still below the official poverty line, with a high increase of migration in such groups to cities. With the slowing down of the world economy in general, the urban economy is expected to slow down in India. The rural schools and education system will be expected to develop more means to survive and accommodate for more coming children. India is an agrarian economy, and we know that agriculture is still the largest employer in rural areas. A total of 90.2 million households still depend on it. Over 57.8%, which is more than half of the population, are involved in farming. Therefore, many educational efforts need to be focused on the farmers and their family, their work, and their lives. We need to go to the grassroots of such farmers' lives and exploit the opportunities that would differentiate their learning outcome. We should learn why they cannot access education. We should learn why they do not will to go to education, although certain provisions has been done. This can be done only through civil society, non-governmental agencies, which have been and can play a much larger role in the learning cycle. We know that many NGOs have been doing effective work, specifically in the area of education in children, youths, women, and many more. And if this cycle continues and we can strengthen that, it will result in the production of better citizens. Now, here is why we such as India, sub-Saharan countries, etc. There is a need for holistic education. In the education of today, we are not taught how to ask questions. We are not taught how to solve problems. Instead, we're just taught what have been taught since generations. Tribal areas still lag relatively 20 years behind as compared to the general population. And hence we need to bring them forward through reservations and effective education. There are still no clear educational packages that would break the poverty of the tribal communities in specific. There are many more, such as scheduled caste or other backward classes, but there is no such educational packages that guarantee their outcome. List of becoming locked in the poverty cycle just goes on and on. India needs to pick up on building a resilient rural economy through innovative solutions. Mahatma Gandhi emphasized on satyagraha and also emphasizing on rural economy because most of India still lives in the rural regions, and hence more innovative solutions are required. Despite the tremendous success getting children into school since 2000, almost 60 million children are still out of school, and the decline in out of school children has stagnated. And lastly, the children still not in school are the most marginalized and suffer from multiple marginalization factors and poverty-related issues that stagnates in such communities. Importance of education to eradicate poverty. We have discussed the relevance of it, and now the importance. We know that education is important to eradicate poverty because through education, we can empower, we can inspire people to live their lives and explore dreams which they have never thought of. Education is the smartest investment. Empowering marginalized communities is necessary, and education is a means to do it. No development is possible without education. When we talk about development, the education, trajectory, economics all come hand in hand. Concerning dropout rates in children and youths from marginalized communities. Marginalized communities such as scheduled tribes, scheduled caste, and other classes which are very backward compared to the general classes, the dropout rates in those children and youths are more, and hence we need to strengthen the education system even more, keeping in mind the reservations and specifications. Education can be the most effective tool to tackle large-scale poverty entrenched in various parts of India and multiple parts of the world. An educated community can progress far better as they can achieve better health and robust economic independence. Here are some suggestions from Team 1 to help the poor get educated. Number 1, making
Pratik,
education
please,
accessible to the
please.
masses.
Hello, Pratik. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but can you please do a little quick because we are running out.
This
of
is the
time.
last slide.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We need to make education accessible to the masses. Slum schools such as doorstep schools or teaching on the wheel or newer school concepts that encourage peer education, models such as Akshar, are open opportunities for better education, health, etc. And the way of the education system should have a problem-solving approach and not a spoon-fed knowledge-handling approach, which will result in the creation of newer leaders and more inspiration. The coalition of governmental and non-governmental forces is necessary to help strengthen. One without the other cannot result in fruitfulness. There should be focus on empowering marginalized people and enabling them to raise their voice and tell their stories through education. The numbers are mostly based on literacy rate, but how often do we talk about education? Education and literacy should go hand in hand. Emphasis should be given on making people educated as well as literate. People should not be forced or directed to pursue education. Instead, they should be inspired. And lastly, we should focus on creating a decentralized education system, which will be the cherry on top. And with this, we have come to an end. Thank you.
Okay, Pratik, very nice. Thank you, Team One. But I will start with the positive, and then I will tell you what is maybe area for improvement, at least from my point of view. You said the statement, which is I like, and then maybe I will modify to some extent. We need to go to the grassroots of the community. This is the most important thing of whatever you said today, and design specific education program. And this is what we've been doing in Inspiration Economy, and we'd like you to do and innovate. It doesn't mean whatever we did is perfect. We know that there is lots of areas that we could not tackle because of our limited resources, our limited reach, our availability in the community is we are not available in the communities always we are working in, and so on. So for that, we need people like you who will innovate and first understand the grassroots of the community. If they are tea community, like in Assam, you have many tea communities and so on. Their approach through the tea club, for example, which Paul, I think he have, his friends a lot there in that area. We can do lots of things that are relevant to education in that area, relevant to that issue. Maybe they go to schools, but maybe they don't have enough reading. Maybe we can develop for them, like a reading club or something like this, which help them to have diversifying knowledge. Okay, and they will know, for example, how to in the future not to migrate. They might, innovate in their products, in their type of products, which is the tea, and how they market the tea and so on. That's maybe one issue. And I think you mentioned, just to continue, design specific program for them that would enhance, and I would say here, quote unquote, and this is my addition, their capacity. Okay, more than anything else. And you said about that we need holistic approach and problem solving, again, depending on the community type, which is they can help us to break the vicious cycle of poverty, which is, again, this is very important. What I didn't like, first of all, you should have referred to our book, because whatever you are taking from there, it is from our book. I'm not talking about my book now, or it's because of ego or something. No, always when you refer to any book, regardless of the book, always refer that this is reference to this book. If you're taking from other books, also you should mention other books. Okay. Now, also you said that we need inspiring education that inspire people more than push people to education. That's true. This is where we are working in. If you noticed, in our teaching in universities around the world, and we are trying to give, new programs in master, PhD, and postgraduate diploma, and we hope through you guys, inshallah, you will lead also the other internship program, and will innovate in our internship program so that we make it more popular and many people will join with your leadership. You started now, this is the good side of the thing, and with the certain comments. But what I didn't like, and you spent maybe half of your presentation talking about statistics that all of us know. And what Dr. Dunya said earlier now, as I'll use it again, don't tell us something that all of us know and we can access through the internet. Okay, all of us is we don't need the credit for that issue. All of you know this minimal information, the macro history of education, and what is the importance of education. This all of us we know. So why you waste your time and our time and your presentation and your efforts in that area? See, you lost lots of time. You could have focused on something else, especially if you are trying to get fund for a project like this in the future. Okay. Now, the other issue that we could have always focus on micro, and inspiration economy, focus on micro, see the community related issues. Okay. And the community always relate, as I said earlier to other team, we are looking for education relevant to community projects. Yani you mentioned, for example, very quickly about child labor. So which child labor and where and which community, because it matters. If there is child labor in tea farms, it's different than child labor in the slums, which is there. It might be a mafia, and I cannot enter. I go into the Mumbai slums and Delhi slums, by the way. Okay, and we know that area is very dangerous, and we can't tackle that area. But maybe child labor in the tea farm, and with in coordination with their tea club, and their cultural, they have cultural team, which they have dancing, they have many things there. There we can clip our education program, for example, to minimize the child labor, or to encourage parents to send their children to schools if this is a problem, for example. So this is my comment, and I hope you take care about especially the issue of reference, and the issue of don't go for something information that all of us know. No, let us talk always. This is very valuable time for all of us. Let's talk about something that is that we need to hear, something that is based on your research, or based on discussion with the team, or based on the field, the collection from the field, which is, I know, too early for you, but this is maybe a point for the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, would you like to add any point?
No, I just agree with Dr. Muhammad what he said. So thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. So now moving on to the next team, team number 2. Are you ready?
Yes, please, we are ready.
Yes. Please start your presentation.
Okay. Please, can you help by projecting it for us? I don't know if you have it already.
Sir, can you please make her the co-host?
I would like you to help me share from your end, if you don't mind.
But have you sent? I don't think so. You have sent me.
Okay, then I think we sent it to Mr. Paul.
Yeah. So is Pratik presenting?
I'm the one presenting, please.
Who is doing the slide share? Can you make it fast?
They can start with the other part.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Gifty from Ghana, and I'm presenting on behalf of Team 2. Okay. And so
Team 2?
We experience migration a lot. And simply when we say migration, we all know that it has to do with people moving from one place to another place in search of better livelihoods, job opportunities, in search of safety and others. Please, have you received the slides? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, just a moment.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else in your team who is able to present, because this is taking a lot of time to load. Otherwise, we can move ahead with the next team, and then we'll begin with your team again. So team number 4, are you ready? Quizera? Team number 4.
Team 4, we are ready.
Quizera?
Yes, I'm around.
Yeah, please
Our
begin with
presenter
your
is
presentation.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
I think he's allowed to present. Just to do screen share for us. Thank you.
Quizera?
Yes, I'm around.
Yeah, please begin with your presentation. Team 4.
Our presenter is Biringiro Emmanuel Ali. He is around and he can now present for us.
I am unable to understand.
We are still waiting for screen sharing of yours.
All right, just a moment.
My name is Jimmy Emmanuel from Rwanda, the president of Team 4. So, please, can you share screen for us?
It is sharing now. Begin, please.
Yes, my name is Jimmy Emmanuel, as I said, from Rwanda, the president of Team 4. So, can you share screen for us?
Yes, sure, just a moment.
Yes.
Isa and the other, my friend, can you make sure you bring the phone to your near your mouth so that we don't hear we can hear it clearly, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, now
We
clear.
are Team 4.
Yes, keep bring the phone to your near to you so that we can hear you properly. Yes.
Youth migration is the movement of the youth from one place to another. Nowadays, people, especially youth, prefer displacement from their native country to another country to staying in their motherland as solution to different they possess. So nowadays, the youth, they prefer to move due to different problem. They want a solution for that problem. So they prefer to move because of searching for the solution. For example, the youth, they move due to unemployment. They go to search for a better job, leaving their native place. So it was shown that about 23 millions of the overall international migrants are youths. So cause of migration, next slide, cause of migration, avoid migration, it is in two parts. So you can minimize or cut down or slow down the level of migration. Also, you can mitigate the risk of migration. Okay. Cause of youth migration, as I've said, unemployment are the main cause of migration, where some youth, they prefer to move from one place to another to search for a job. So for example, most people from Africa, they move to Asia country like Saudi Arabia and other country like Oman to search for a job. So when they are unemployed in their native country, they want to move to search for a job so they can get a solution to their problem. So poor education. So for example, in our internship of International Institute of Inspiration Economy, so we are taught how can we get a solution of our problem by using or by identifying the potential within us. So poor education, the people have the education of the country or the where people land, they can get a knowledge or a skill that help them to identify their surrounding opportunity. So they can change that surrounding opportunity into anything that can be a solution to their problem. Also overpopulation. In the developed country and developing country, there are high birth rate, the increasing in population, where crowding of people. Some people try to escape the problem they suffer due to main population increase in the population level. So they prefer to move to search their solution in the other place where they will live without main population. Also, family conflicts. Family conflicts are the main effects of overpopulation. Also, nowadays we found in different family, people, they have engaged in fighting, that especially the family conflict affects the children. So the youth or the children of the family that have a conflict, they try to escape that conflict by migrating to other places. Also marriage. People can move from marriage when they want to go to live with their partner. For example, if you live in Africa or you live in Asia, you can find your partner in USA. So you can move to USA to live your partner. So that's other cause of migration. Also climatic change. Some countries have the unfavorable climate. So that unfavorable climate cause the people to move from their place to another place. So there are many consequences or impacts of migration. First one, loss of life. Many people, they die. So as you have seen, many people, they throw in the Atlantic Ocean or Mediterranean Ocean, try to escaping Africa, going to Europe, Asia, and America. Also, lack of development in rural areas. Some people from rural areas lost the ability to identify the opportunity that surrounded them. They prefer to move. So the development of that place where people move from, they are affected because the people who can develop that place, they are removed, they are migrated to another place. So the development of that place become undeveloped. Increasing job competition in host country. So the country that received the migrants, the competition for job are increased. High pressure on natural resources. So there is what you can call the people as they move and crowded in some places. For example, in the city, many people, they move to the city. So the natural resources from that city, they are overused. That can lead to a utilization of that resources. Cultural degradation. So due to people move or migrate to another place, for example, if you move from one country to another, the people live in a place and they mix their culture. For example, when the Christians move and live in a society of Muslim, they try to share the cultures. So the different culture can mix together. So the one culture can loosen or another culture can dominate, one culture can dominate other. Also pollution, damaging natural resources. When the people
Brother, we are unable
that
to
have many population, like in slum areas,
Yes, continue.
the people, yes, like people that experience high development of slums, they prefer to pollute the environment. High government expenditure. The place where people move, it can make the change of government expenditure. For example, the country that received many migrants can spend more. For example, Rwanda have received many people migrate from Libya. So the country can shift its budget to that people who migrated to the place. So another slide. Solution. So we have shown that in an underdeveloped country and developing country, the main cause of migration are undevelopment. So we have a proposed solution to mitigate youth migration in the community as through creation of good economic environment. The good economic environment, it means the environment that allow people to work, to create a project, to create a business that can make them earn a money. So when, for example, when the youth have opportunity or have good ways to create a job, they can stay in their place by busy in their works and earning money. This can slow down the level of unemployment among the youth. Also, youth empowerment and mobilization in order to identify the opportunity and know surrounding opportunity. So some youth move because they don't know their surrounding opportunity, their potential. So we can help the youth to know their potential, what they know, how they can exploit their skills, how can they exploit their power to use the place they live. For example, you can find some opportunities that surround you. You can change that opportunity into something that can give money to you, so you cannot move to such a job in another place. Yes, another slide. Also, promotion of entrepreneurship in school to ensure better understanding of business initiation. So a children can be taught in their childhood. For example, from primary, teaching how they can, how can they do a small project, or how they can save a money that will help them. For example, in COVID-19, we have found that many people their job was suspended. So the people who have an entrepreneurial skills, who have some potential to work, they have overcome the problem when they started to invest some saved money to raise a small project that helped them to overcome the problem. Also, political stability. The country can build a political stability that allow a citizen to live in harmony and to have that what I have said as a good economic condition that help them to work. Problem resolution in family conflicts. As I have seen, the children are casualties of family problems. So when the problem within the family are resolved or got the solution, so the people can live in harmony and enhance the community work. So also people can work for their development. Instead of moving to another place, they can work in their community and get development. Next. The project you have proposed that can help the youth to live or to mitigate their migration. We have proposed agriculture. Nowadays, the youth are not, many youth, they don't know that agriculture is profitable. So we have proposed the agriculture mainly for raising or farming of vegetables like cabbages, like carrots. So when the youth, we mobilize the youth, how they can engage or how they can be in agriculture. So today, agriculture is a backbone of a life on the world. All people, all different people, they need the production of agriculture. The teacher, they eat, doctor, all different people in the world, they need a product from agriculture. So as our team 4, we have proposed a project that can make the youth busy in work. For example, agriculture, when they raise the project of farming vegetables, as I said, like cabbages, they will be busy. For example, when they youth from rural areas, they can have their rent and skills, little skills to use in that agriculture, so they can earn money that can make them never will or that prefer that the solution is migration. Next slide. So the challenge we have is that the youth do not usually engage in agriculture, as I said, but through mobilization, we can help them to be aware of different opportunities that are associated with this sector. Those opportunities associated with agriculture include it requires more capital. To start agriculture, as I said, the farming of vegetables, it requires a small project as our institute, International Institute for Inspiration Economy. For example, what we have done in Rwanda and a project that live in Nyagatare, $300 are used in a project. So agriculture, it can require a little or small capital that can be afforded by a people or a small number of youth. It does not require enough skills and qualification. So to start agriculture does not require many skills or qualification that will barrier or some youth. So everyone who are willing, who have a ability to work, they can engage in agriculture. There's no problem. It is easy to manage and non-taxable. So to manage agriculture is easy, and also government does not tax agriculture. The people or the youth, if they are willing to engage in agriculture, it is easy to make a follow-up for their project of agriculture. It is more profitable and community-oriented. So a profit from agriculture are more. Also, it is oriented for, or it is very important to the society or community. Abba has said every people in this world need the product of agriculture. So it is a community oriented, or it is the community will benefit from that agriculture. Also, it will be used from reduce poverty, reduce malnutrition, on so many others important of agriculture. So, availability of natural resources required. For example, land in a less developing country. So the price for land, it is little, as I said, it requires little capital. Also, the lands are available for the youth, especially in Rwanda. If you want to cultivate, even your parents can offer you a land for using.
Brother, make it a little quick because we are running out of time.
So thanks so much for your attention. It was a team 4. We aspire, we achieve to aspire.
Okay, thanks a lot, Manuel, and very happy to hear less noise, as I told Isa last time, from Rwanda, because usually you get noise from your area, but today it's very quiet. So first of all, I put for you now, guys, all of you, a list for type of products that will have higher return. That's number 1. Number 2, again, this depends not on, because we are not targeting products like Dr. Dunya told you, I told you many times. We are targeting communities, but we should look for in the community what type of products which are rare or in demand, or they can bring it out to other communities, can be sold. Yani China today, they are specialized, and this I told also Paul when I was in Assam, because Assam is rich in many things. And it is, underpaid. The people are underpaid for their product. For example, the brown rice, okay, the grain rice itself, in high demand in all over the world, and especially if it is packaged in small sizes, not in in big sizes, not in 10 kilos. We're talking about half kilo, bag, small bag, a nice package bag. This will bring high return for the community. And this is where again in Rwanda you should work. If the rice, for example, is one of your food demanded, especially in middle class, we're targeting now, for example. And besides, it is like self-sufficiency for the people in the community. In case there is a war, in case there is a problem economically, still this rice will be a priority for the community that they are bringing this rice. I would like you to think this way more than to talk about generic things. You have to define what type of agriculture production and why you have chosen this, and what is the benefit of this community. Remember, because, and as I said, it's a must be in the beginning higher end products, not doing the agriculture itself, not doing the crops yourself. No, you're gonna buy in the beginning, and then with time maybe you buy the land and so on. This is the way that inspiration economy works. Again, refer to books you are referring to, whether my book or other books, because I've seen that you have used one of my models and so on, which is I am very happy. But always refer so that you learn, so that when you we want you to learn all the techniques that is required with us or with any other organization that will listen to you. Now, when you talk about the problem of migration, remember, by the way, that there is also, and we should, even though this is not covered properly in the Isa, we are hearing you, Isa. Okay. When we are talking about okay, when we are talking about the what is it? Yeah, about now the migration from north, from south to north, from India or from Africa to Europe. But this is now not the case, by the way. And now also we should look at the positive cases. There are lots of people who are coming back, or they chosen to stay, and they made a good success stories. Our problem, and most of the time, we or others cover only the success stories of those who go to the west. And before 10 years, before a decade, they were the majority. But today, by the way, they are not the majority. They are the minority who made a success story. Many of those who migrated, okay, maybe they go to more freedom country before the war now of Russia. They claim to be freedom. Now, as you can see, they are having a problem. They are being, let's say, marginalized, not given their rights. Mostly they are working in jobs that is not suitable for them. While those who chosen in the last 1 decade to stay in the emerging economies countries, whether Rwanda, India, Ghana, these countries, which is most of Africa will come with time. Okay, those are making now more contribution to their life and to their community. Maybe the guys in the West, they are making more money in dollars, but doesn't mean that their quality of life is better. So this is again something that we need to cover when we talk about the issue of migration. And again, I think there may be something that I mentioned in many of our publication. The issue of migration is mostly come from need, which is youth like you, which is not in education. They finish education or they're waiting for education, not in training, and not in employment. This is the problem that we are facing today. And these type of laws is very important because they are the ones who will bring the future for any country that they live in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, would you like to add anything?
No, I think Dr. Muhammad, he emphasized on the things I wanted to say, and nothing. Thank you.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. So we'll be moving on towards the next one. So are you guys ready?
This is next team. Team number 2.
Team number 2. Team number 2.
Okay.
Rimpi, are you ready?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we are still finding a way to share it. The file seems to be big, so sending it to you, it's taking a long time to download. That's why you haven't seen it yet. Farin, can you share it for us? Okay, all right. So, good evening once again. Sorry for keeping this long. And so I'm Gifty from Ghana. And for the assignment given, the first, I'm representing on behalf of Team 2. And so we first of all want to talk about migration. And when we talk about migration, it has to do with the movement of people from one place to the other place, either in search of job, better health, and the others. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Please move. So due to time, I would be very quick about this. I think all these are information we already know. So please let's go to the next slide. Next, please. Next. So please, next one. Our research, we decided to pick a community in India. Please, next slide. Okay, so we realized that the population, the youth, the Indian youth population from the ages of 15 to 24 were very huge. That was 35% from the census that took place in 2001. So we realized most of the youth moved from India, either in search of better jobs, for rescue, or other things. Next slide. So these are pictures depicting how people are running for their life. You know, they feel where they are isn't safe enough for them, so they have to move to better places, either from a village to town, or to the big cities, or from one country to another. Next slide, please. So we decided to talk about Mashidabad. It's in the West Bengal in India. Sorry if I'm not mentioning the names well. Yes, so we decided to talk about this particular community. Next slide, please. So in this community, we realized that the people there migrate a lot. They are endowed with good things. They are endowed with silk. If only they could focus on, please, let's move. Next slide. All right. So Mashidabad can well be labeled as one of the most backward districts in India. Okay. So the people from this age range, that is 16 to 35 years, are more prone to migration than the others. We have proven this statistically. I think in the next slide, you'll be able to see it. So please, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so I think there is a problem here. The figures are not showing very well. But per our little research, what we're able to gather, we realized that comparing Saudi Arabia, Kerala, Gujarat, and Mumbai and Delhi, we realized that Mumbai's number of people that move there to other places is very huge. Please, let's go to the next slide. The next one. Okay, so the reason why we decided, the members of Team 2 decided to take Mashidabad is because people migrate from this particular community. Meanwhile, the primary reason for this has to do with employment opportunities. Okay, so several times they migrate because they want better opportunities. That is why they move. There is high rate of unemployment there. The youth there have they don't have jobs, better jobs to do over there. So some migrate to Saudi Arabia for better earnings. Okay, it accounts for 86 per 86 36%. Okay, so these are, I think these are percentages of our search. Next slide. Oh, this is also not showing. So this was to also determine to show us everything that we need to know about this. Okay, so we realized that Mashidabad is the second largest traditional silk producing district in the West Bengal. Okay, so which bears a golden legacy of producing superlative silk in India since the 17th century. Okay, so this community has been able to produce good silk for people all over the world. So we have decided that we will have to concentrate on what they have in their community in able to help them to become self-sufficient. And so we decided that we would support them in producing mulberry silk, even though there are different types of silks. We are focusing on the mulberry silk. Okay, and before looking at the process of how Mashidala silk race is made, it's important to understand the pain, taking the process of extracting the silk thread from the cocoon. Once you know the process, you will appreciate the Mashidala silk source more. So they take their time in able to make this thread, this silk thread. Next slide, please. So one will ask that what is the mulberry silk? Originating in the China over 500 years ago. So this is a very shiny looking material, very nice. And mulberry silk is made from the cocoon of the Bombi moru moth before it is used for whatever it's used to do. So this particular material could be used for, next slide, for bed sheets, it could be used for pillowcase, it could be used for attire, that is trouser and a top. Next slide, please. So these slides have to do with the comparison, the regular silk and the mulberry silk, the difference between them. So please, next slide. When you compare, you realize that the mulberry silk is more comfortable as compared to the regular silk. So this is also talking about the benefits of the mulberry silk. And it's one of the benefits, the strand of fabric that the mulberry silk is made of contains 18 amino acids and proteins. Our skin thrives off of these nutrients. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of companies have turned to mulberry silk to produce pillowcases and sleep masks. Okay, and also for the hair, because it's silk, it's good for the hair. It's not going to entangle your hair. When you sleep on it, it's not going to make your hair very rough. So it's really good. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so it helps you, it has benefits for sleep. So ready for some serious snooze time. So you'll be able to sleep comfortably as compared to the other materials used for the pillowcases. Please, we can move to the next one. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so our project idea. All right, so as we have seen that the young people of Mashidabad are facing huge problems of unemployment and are facing problems economically with their essential living conditions. And that's why they are getting forced to leave their decades-old occupation and migrate to other cities, especially the youth. Especially the youth are migrating from better living condition and job opportunities. With a budget of $300 to $500, we are thinking to initiate a project with the community of the people of Mashidabad, where we will acquire the raw material from the local people only. And then we'll set up a cottage industry where we will employ the youth migrants. As we have also seen that in this community, the number of youth migrants are high. And in that cottage industry, we will set up traditional handloom setup where we would where we will weave and produce garments with mulberry silk as our raw material. The things we are thinking to produce are, we have the sari, the kutas, saiwash suits, and top and tunics, bed sheets, and tablecloth as well. Next slide, please. Next slides. Okay, so how do we intend to do this with about $300 to $500? So the estimated cost of our project is that the raw material, that is 1 yard. I think in India you say meter, but in Ghana we say 1 yard. So 1 yard per mulberry silk will cost $6.25 to $10.5. So let's assume that the survey will take.
Please make it a little quick, actually. The time is already running out and you won't have time for the second assignment.
All right, so
let's make it a little quick, yeah.
This is the estimated cost for how we are going to initiate this project. All right, so next slide. Okay, so this is how we intend to acquire it. So how do we acquire it? Is to get the raw material from local community, like I said, and produce, and that is to bring the raw material to our cottage industry and manufacture it ourselves in the cottage. And how do we sell this? So we are going to sell it on our social media handles and promote it so that people will get to know and will purchase from us. And by so doing, these people in the community would be able to get enough to cater for themselves and also employ others as well, so that they wouldn't have to migrate from where they are to another place. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is initially going to help. It's going to help the community of Mashidat. All right, so I'll leave the rest to my colleague who would continue with assignment. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Gifty. Again, very good presentation. Your English, I think, helping you. And I believe that, okay, for the sake of time, just I want to focus with you on a specific issue. Very good that you focused on Murshidabad or Murshidabad community, which is clearly they have a problem with migration. And you said the good thing is that you focus on what is this community is strong on, which is they are producing silk. Now, always we said focus on high-end product, and I see that also you covered this. So your presentation, frankly, I've covered very important things. I put for you 2 links in the chat that might help you to improve your approach for this project if you go for that one. Always I say, and this is what I told also Godfred and Paul and those who work with us, even in Mauritania and Kenya and so on, is that we might sometime not spend on buying the product. We spend our money directly in collaboration with a family business or any type of business, like we did. I think we visited with Paul, you know, silk family business, silk production family business in Assam. We focus on bringing designer who will let us achieve our idea. If our idea is bed sheets, for example, focusing on one type of bed sheets or pillows, for example, specific pillows, then we'll focus on that in the beginning. We'll spend our $300 on that issue. And with the designer, we pay him some money or pay her some money and design the pillow sheet. We agree with the family, and we'll pay them based on our profit that we'll make from selling this. And we try to sell it in different market, not in the market where the Murshidabad or whatever the place. No, we sell it in Bombay, we sell it in Delhi, or sell it in even outside India, for example. The second part is marketing. We'll spend some money, maybe at least $100 for marketing and so on. So this is where the money will go mostly, because here they are, you know, that they are already good in doing silk. Yeah? So they don't have problem with the production of silk. And for sure, it is not sari, because the sari business is a huge, and you cannot compete with in the sari business. And the idea of any project we're gonna do, which is under self-sufficiency or reduction of migration, is to raise the profit margin so that we encourage youth to come back to their community instead of migrating to the cities, as you mentioned in the beginning, or migrating outside the country. And they see the potential of staying in their community, producing and selling to outside areas and so on. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you.
everyone. Hello,
Your-
everyone.
Yes,
Yeah,
hello. Your name,
Yeah.
but give me your
My
name.
name is Gungun, sir.
Gungun. Okay. Next time, please identify in your iPhone so that we know you are Gungun. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mm.
Okay, I would like to discuss role of education in poverty alleviation. So, as we all know, poverty is a major threat to the existence of humanity in modern times, especially in the developing world. The Millennium Development Agenda set to reduce poverty by half of the year 2015 expresses the global commitment to ensuring the living standards of mankind. Education is often referred to as the great equalizer. It can open the door to jobs, resources, and skills that help a person not only survive but thrive. This is why access to quality education is a globally recognized solution to poverty. Education helps to remedy many of the other issues that can keep people, families, and even whole communities vulnerable to the cycle of poverty. The next point, equality education supports science development, developing social, emotional, cognitive, and communication skills. They also gain knowledge and uh, skills, and often at a higher level than those who don't attend school. They can then use these skills to earn higher incomes and build successful lives.
just one thing. Please make it a little quick because your team already took more than 15 minutes. So please.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, education and poverty are inversely related. The higher the level of education of the population, lesser will be the number of poor persons because education imparts knowledge and skills which is supportive in higher wages. I would like to skip the second part. So I'm going to start the third para. Eradicating poverty and fostering economic development. It is the groundwork on which much of economic and social well-being of the citizen is built. Education is the key to increase economic efficiency, raise the poor from poverty. Rimli, can you please share the next slide? Rimli, am I audible?
Yes, I already did. Is it visible in your site? Because
Yes,
IIII
yes.
has published a paper that's already visible.
Okay, you don't need to read this, Gongon. Just tell us, yeah, what is now your points, not something that we know.
Okay, so IIE has published a paper titled as Reporting Extreme Poverty Elimination Model from Sub-Saharan Africa. So I'm going to discuss this case study. This paper studies the mechanism of eliminating poverty within 2 years in a difficult region of Sub-Saharan Africa in a village called Dar El Baida neighborhood. Which is in Mauritania. The paper comes in a unique time with the world inequality ratio and extreme poverty elimination becoming more stagnant due to the spillovers of COVID-19 pandemic and the unique situation of Sub-Saharan Africa. The case study reports the 2 years journey that was led by the International Inspiration Economy Project in collaboration with local partners and showed the cycle of cooperative model development, which helped to develop a better quality of life in the targeted neighborhood. The model led to bring tens of families and hundreds of their dependents away from extreme poverty. The author shares his experience of the role of the consistent period evaluation and how it helps to measure the quality of outcome in such vulnerable neighborhoods in such projects while also better classifying and stratifying the beneficiaries. The paper concludes with a framework that could enhance the capacity to deal with poverty and extreme poverty, being a complex problem in such a difficult time and in less developing regions. The author shares the experience of developing a poverty prevention model that led to the proposed formula for poverty elimination used in the case study. So how can we explain a better methodology that would improve the current approach? Education is at the center of building human capital, but the world is facing a learning crisis. Worldwide, hundreds of millions of children reach young adulthood without even the most basic skills like calculating the correct change from a transaction, reading a doctor's instruction, or understanding a bus schedule, let alone building a fulfilling career or educating their children. It's never too late for young people to have opportunities to learn how youth deserve to be equipped with these skills they need to thrive in an increasingly demanding and uncertain job world. Given that today's students will be tomorrow's citizens and leaders, a good and relevant education is essential to turn aspirations into reality. So poverty is a complex socio-economic, socio-political, legal, technological, and environmental issue to the extent it still differs from community. If we take poverty as a socio-economic issue, it could be seen as an integrated problem that has a negative influence or influence from different social, economical activities such as the lack of education, cultural synergy, religious harmony, and unemployment resolution. So a study shows that more than 171 million people could be lifted out of extreme poverty if their children get the basic education that would ensure effective communication or reading and writing. As aims at the growth is the most powerful instrument for reducing poverty and improving the quality of life in developing countries, the Sustainable Development Goals encourage the integration of education service that give children the skills of current and future life. Education in poverty areas also play a catalyst for different sustainable development goals, since through education we would ensure cross generalizational connectedness while resolving household related issues of primary needs as the availability of water, food, house communication, etc.
Please make it a little quick, okay? It's already been more than 30 minutes for your group.
Okay. Also, IIP aims in educational approaches to the poor, future foresight, poverty-related education, underprivileged education, youth economy, and many more. Yeah. So the last point I would like to discuss is that like I would like to say some ideas very. Rimli, can you please share your
2 more
previous
minutes,
idea?
okay? And then
So some idea.
I'll be switching
Okay.
it out. All right.
Okay. So I would like to share some of the ideas where the poor would live to come and join the educational schemes. Assign work requiring a computer and internet access or other costly resources only when we can provide in school time and materials for such work to be completed.
Work with our schools to make parent involvement affordable and convenient by providing transportation, on-site childcare, and time flexibility. Give students from poverty access to the same time high-level curricular and pedagogical opportunities and high expectations as their wealthy peers. Teach about classism, consumer culture, the dissolution of labor unions, environmental pollution, and other injustice disproportionately affecting the poor, preparing new generation of students to make a more equitable world. Keep stocks of school supplies, snacks, clothes, and other basic necessities handy by students who may need them, but find quite ways to distribute these resources to avoid singling anyone out. With this, I like to conclude. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Gongon. And I don't want to take long time because already we are late and I know everybody's tired. But I really am amazed with everybody commitment. Yani this is one of the things that is we noticed since the beginning of the internship is that you guys are committed to the program, and mostly who can access the the Wi-Fi. You are already always available, so that's a good thing. And appreciate especially those who have the difficulty from Africa, especially, which is very difficult to stay even for 10 minutes, let alone to stay 2 hours. That shows again the good leadership of the team leaders, and of course the design of the program by Remli and Paul, of course, and Godfred, and also your interest. I hope that your interest in inspiration economy. The last team, I feel again you're going to formal, and I would like to have a general comment, not only to the last team but all the teams. Please, please, please try to remember this internship is not like any other internship program that a university will arrange with another company or another organization, something. This internship program meant to help you to discover really who you are and what is your life purpose and how much you can contribute to your community. Okay, so trying to get more engaged and involved with these things, besides the formal reading from our books or other books or Googling, the internet. This is something we take it for granted. But what is it for your community? What you want to reach, and what type of project we can do? What type of innovative project we can do? Like I said in the beginning, from the first one, which is Sumaya, and the others. So, and again, I'd like to thank Ramli, frankly, for her leadership. For me, I will fail to manage you all in this way. But this time management that Ramli is doing is great, because we are covering lots of subjects, as you can see, and it's all of them is innovative thing for our thinking and thoughts. So again, reflect on your not only your team but other teams' work, so that you come up with a good outcome in the end, because these are now just preparing you for the type of project you want to do in your community, hopefully, and also preparing you to discover who you are. The more you do and get engaged with the reality, the more you'll discover who you are. If you stay with the books and going by the guideline, you'll finish the program, you might get appreciated, but maybe it will not help you in the long run. But I want to have this program in your memory and say, okay, this is a defining moment in my life. It had really made me reflect. And you have a much chance better than me to inspire the whole world. I discovered myself 45 years old. Now you guys are mostly in ages of 20s and below 20. So it is an opportunity that you really get engaged, and you can ask anytime, you can challenge us anytime in our thoughts. And beside, by the way, this is a multidisciplinary science, inspiration economy. So put some other sciences. Don't tell me only subjective, this is what is the word saying about poverty or education. Put a formula, say, I want to try this formula. Come out of the norm, because we inspire people. We don't take things for granted. We want to be out of the norm. Say, I would like to try this formula in my community. I know that Sumaya is doing like something similar to this when she showed me in WhatsApp what she's doing and so on. But I mean, all of you should try, because education, it can't be approached only in this way, and the way we are doing it is to you can see what is the outcome of this world. Everybody is, we are having polarization, we're having ethnicity more. Yani means the education system is one of the problems actually. Okay, it's not a solution, it's one of the problems. Everybody is now being selfish, less selfless people. We are seeing in the world, everybody want to alienate other people, want to throw them away and so on. It means there is a problem in our education system and the way we are learning and we are reacting to the world, you know. So again, I'd like to thank you again for this commitment. I'm very, very happy to see that all of you, yani now we are having so far 19 people available. Only 2 people I think lost because of their signal. They come and go. But this shows that we are in the right track, hopefully, for the next assignments, and try to take whatever we told you. Now, this is our recorded. Try the feedback I'm giving you. I'm not telling you what is right. I'm telling you what is to avoid. Okay, what is right? I don't know. I'll discover what you like, and you are inspiring me actually. But I know what is you should not do from experience. Because of my experience, maybe I'm mistaken, but majority that I'll be probability that I will be right is very high. I can tell you it's more than 30%. Yani with humble, just to be humble, well, more than 30% I might be right. So I avoid whatever I'm telling you don't do, or I mean do it in different way so that you can reach better, hopefully. Okay, I'm not sure Dunya want to comment on that. Anything before we conclude?
No, but yani, just I want to tell you, keep it up. Regardless of our comments, you are doing well. But yani, of course, there is always ways for improvement from the small comments that we say. So yani, that's it.
Okay, one of the area for improvement is that to see you in reality, but instead of picture next time. Am I right, family?
I just came back from university after a long day, like 12 hours being out of home factory.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you again, the leaders, also team leaders, Godfred, Ramli, of course, Paul, always our big thanks for him. He's behind the scenes, and did I forget anybody? And also Quizera, Isa, all of you is doing great, and we hope to, inshallah, also we'll give you apologize we didn't send you our evaluation. I was waiting for Dr. Dunya because she's very busy, but for sure in the next 2 days you'll get the evaluation for the 3 assignments. And good luck for the next assignments, and hopefully that you do something creative, different than what we are expecting, also much more. Thanks a lot. See you guys, and feel free to ask anytime. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.